Hey guys, welcome back to the Michael Lenoci Show. And this is a Week 3 recap of the Miami Dolphins game. And is it the greatest recap I've ever done in my life? Absolutely, it's gonna be. Absolutely. Did this top last year's game against the Baltimore Ravens? That's where I go to mentally. When someone walks up to me, let's say I'm walking down the street and somebody comes up to me and they're like, "Hey, you're a Miami Dolphins fan?" I go, "Yeah, I am." And they usually go, "Sorry, it's been a rough 30 plus years," because I'm 39. And I go, "Yeah, kind of. At least they're entertaining. We've only really had really bad years for a little bit, right?" There was like a pocket of 4 or 5 years, but at least we're mediocre. And then that's all you can pray for, because, if you're 8-8, or at the time now you can go 8-9 or 9-8, at least in December, you have the mentality of like, "Oh, if we win the last 2, we're in." That was always my argument to people. I'm like, you just want your team to be in it in December. Now we have a juggernaut. And last year, we probably would have had a juggernaut team too if Tua stays healthy. And that was year 1 of the offense. And now we're seeing year 2 of the offense, clearly. And we're going to get into it, but I'm saying last year's game against the Ravens was unbelievable. And the point is, up to that point, I would have said that's the best Dolphins game I've ever witnessed in my life. And then after week 1, at the Chargers game I went to, I go, that was probably the best second top 3 Dolphin games I've ever been to. Number 1 being our last playoff win against the Colts in overtime with Lamar Smith running it in for a touchdown. But other than that, I can't tell you another game. I mean, yesterday's game tops the Ravens game. Yeah, because it was fun to come back and Tua throw 6 touchdowns. But 70 points? And we're spreading the love? Yeah, I would have loved if Tua had 6 touchdowns yesterday. Easily could have if they do the play call differently. But hey, I'll take his 4. But that's unbelievable. And I know we're high and everybody's so excited. And this is the haters right now. The haters right now are like, they do this every year. 3-0 last year. We were 3-0 last year. That's true. And then we went 3-3. And then we won 5 in a row. And then we lose 5 in a row. And then we win 1. Weird season. The year before that, we start 1-7. Win 7 in a row. Then lose 1. Then win 1. Adam Gase's last year, we start 3-0. Remember that year? And then we lose like 7 in a row. So, yes, you're right. We've had this type of start before. But someone even pulled up a stat and said Tua has the identical numbers from last year after being 3-0. The same amount of numbers. It was 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, something like 800 yards passing, and QBR, all that is the same, but a little bit different. Last year, he had the 6 touchdown game against the Ravens, and that kind of beefed up those stats from the other 2 games. This year, these stats were over 3 games, kind of spread out, and he played well in 3 games. Whereas last year, Patriots game was okay. It wasn't bad. It was okay. Made some ugly throws. Ravens game obviously made some ugly throws, but came back and won. Buffalo game played great. But now we're sitting here with a 3-0 team, and my number 1 note, just off the top of my head, that I thought was funny yesterday was when I put a Facebook status up on my personal page where it's like only people I'm friends with over the past, right? Not a lot of people on there, not on any of my socials. I put up, this is the greatest Dolphins team I've ever witnessed in my lifetime. In 39 years. All right, because I'm not going to argue with people from the 70s, right? Because we don't know. All we need is videos. Football was different. They went undefeated. You're not going to win the argument. That's fine. Although I truly believe that this is the best Miami Dolphins team we have ever had, regardless of the outcome of what's going to happen this season, which I believe, even if it doesn't go well for us, it still kind of goes well for us. And the reason being is because our backups outscored the Broncos just alone in the fourth quarter. I think Mike McDaniel he's the heart of this team. And regardless of what happens to anyone's health or whether they stay on the team in the future, we got Mike McDaniel. And this guy is going to be one of the next GOATs in the NFL. We have him. It's here. It's here. Oh, he could lose 8 in a row. You ain't firing this coach. He's that good, man. He's that good. Listen, Bill Belichick, Brandon Staley, Sean Payton. These are all 3 defensive-minded coaches that were baffled. They had no answer for what we were really doing for the most part. No answer. Oh, Bill Belichick, they slowed us down a little bit. Tua still had like 250. We still ran the ball for like 200 yards. We put up 24 points. A blocked field goal easily could have been 27. Some mismanaged plays. We could have put 30 up against the Patriots. If this team can score 30 points listen, I know we're playing Buffalo and we'll get into that too, but listen, if we lose a game, it's because the other team scored 40 points. It's going to have to be that way. And sure, you're like, well, what if Tua gets hurt? I'm confident enough that Mike White could even put up 24 points with us. I feel like it won't be as good, obviously, but I'm not as worried anymore. I was worried before, dude, Tua's so valuable, we need him. And I do think he is so valuable. But I think Mike McDaniel is even more valuable. I think he deserves the extension. I think you give him a 10-year contract right now. To me, yes, if Tua gets hurt, that would be crazy. That would hurt. That would be sad. It would be, we would be worried. We'd be like, oh, it's not going to be good. But I would think that, let's say we're 6-0 or something, and he got hurt. I'd be like, Mike White can win us 4 games and get us in the playoffs. And then let McDaniel do his game management. I mean, McDaniel almost beat the Bills last season with a 3rd-string quarterback. And that was in the first year of an offense. You don't think if we had that same matchup again, he's going to beat the Bills with a second year offense and Skyler and maybe even Mike White, who is probably better because Skyler didn't look that great in the preseason? I mean, we'll just get into it. And the Bills are next week. But I want to get in the game first. But since we're on the topic, the spread right now is -2.5 Bills. The home team always gets -3. That's kind of the rule when it comes to gambling. But I think so many people have already swayed it down to 2.5. And I think by midweek, it could go down to 1. And I think by Sunday, it could be a pick'em game. And that's fine. That's fine. We're not going to be heavily favored. It's in Buffalo. Buffalo looked great, by the way. But this is Mike McDaniel, 4th game against the Bills now. And I think he has them figured out. I think he has their defense figured out. And I think he's going to go in there and we're going to surprise people. I think, yeah, last year we were 3-0 and the Bills are good and it's 3rd division and they've won it 4 years in a row. And yeah, we did take one last year and it was a nail biter. And then we played them great in Buffalo in that snow game. But I think that was McDaniel figuring out a defensive-minded coach again. And like I heard someone say, he's so good at exposing what defenses are really good at. And he's strategizing against all the defenses. That's what he's doing. He's an offensive-minded coach that is watching the defense and thinking about how he can expose them and knows where to attack the defense. Instead of a defense taking away your best offensive weapon, like a defense is like, hey, let's take away Tyreek. Let's take Tyreek away. Let's take away the middle of the field in between the numbers. That's where Tua's throwing 90% of the balls. In between the numbers. Let's take that away. That's what defenses are thinking. Mike McDaniel's like, no, here's what they're really bad at. Here's what they're really good at. And here's how we could take advantage of their weaknesses on defense. Not even worried about what play calls he's going to make and what they're going to try to stop. He's not worried about that. He's exposing all of these defenses. He is the MVP of this team. He is the most valuable player of the NFL right now. He is the coach of the year. We have the coach of the year, we have the MVP, and we have the rookie of the year right now. We have 3 of them. As of right now, I know there's 4 quarterbacks, but as of right now, if it ended today, off of one game, just one game, you would have to put him above Anthony Richardson. Devon Achane. A chain, not 2 chains, 1 chain. 200 yards rushing, 2 TDs rushing, 2 receiving TDs rushing. I know it kind of gets lost. What he did gets lost in the 70 points. That's what's crazy right now is everybody's talking about McDaniel, the offense, Tua, 70 points, the Dolphins, Mostert, A-Chain. Like they're talking about everyone, but let's forget about the score of 70 points. Just on a piece of paper, look at Devon A-Chain. 18 carries, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns, just rushing. That's just the rushing numbers. On any given Sunday in the last 20 years, the only people who are putting up those numbers are Hall of Fame running backs. That is insane. Let alone we throw in the receiving. 4 for 30 yards, 2 touchdowns. Sure, they were goal line touchdowns. Still, overall, 243 yards overall. 243 total yards, which is probably more than the Jets even did offensively. I don't have the number on that, but that is insane. What a coming out party for this rookie. And hey, when you guys were wondering why didn't we go for Delvin Cook or offer him more money, or what did they offer for Jonathan Taylor, something low, they lowballed it, because at the time they're like, why not? We're out of that sweepstakes. See ya, Indianapolis. Should have taken the offer. You would have bamboozled us. We clearly don't need him. We don't need any running backs. Just with those 2 guys, and Jeff Wilson, he's coming back after week 4, after next week. He's not going to see the ball much. Achman's not going to see the ball much when they come back. We have 2 hitters right there. Just those 2 alone. And don't forget, Jeff Wilson's still going to see the ball. He's still good. So is Achman. He knows the offense. The ability to run the ball with his team is unbelievable. 2 weeks in a row. That's the scariest part about this offense is the fact that we've ran the ball for over 200 yards 2 weeks in a row. What was the Patriots game, if I'm not mistaken? What was the total rushing yards for that? It was a week ago. I should have it pulled up, and I apologize, but total rushing yards in that game was 145, okay? 145 rushing yards in that game, which is fine, which is above that's unbelievable too. Against a Patriots defense, might I add. So the rushing attack alone is something to be super excited about, because guess what? When Tua did go down last year, and I know we're talking about if Tua goes down, because that's everyone's argument against us. What's going to happen when Tua goes down? What's going to happen is we're not that worried. We're not as worried as you think. And I'm not taking anything away from Tua. I'm excited about the way Tua's playing. He's playing at an elite level. He's playing at an MVP level. But I also am pointing out that championship teams also have so many other things going well for them on all sides of the ball. Okay? The offensive line, elite. But we'll get to that. But most of all, 8 touchdowns from your running backs, that's like a 2-headed monster. 200 yards for a rookie? The confidence that gives him going forward? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That means if you had Tua down and you have a backup and they're going to play you soft, they're not going to play you soft even with a backup when you have Tyreek and Waddle out there. Let's say Mike White's out there. You still have a balanced running game. And everyone knows to win a Super Bowl, you have to have a balanced team. And this is the most balanced team we've ever had. I mean, even when we had Ricky that year, and we didn't make the playoffs with Ricky, but the 2 years before Ricky, we made the playoffs with Wannstedt. It was a pretty balanced team, but not that exciting because Jay Fiedler wasn't throwing for 4,000 yards. But when we had Ricky, you had a good running game. It helped us later on in the year. Now we have both, and the defense is playing at a top 5 level. The defense is great too. But most of all, the biggest takeaway for me from this whole game is the running game, the running attack. I think the play calling was pretty balanced as it was. Let me see if I can pull it up. Wow, I just had a stroke there. I mean, I think we ran. Let me see the team stats. Here it is. Team stats. Play calling. Here we go. Time of possession was pretty equal, but rushing 350, passing 376. It's not giving me the breakdown of the play calling. Let me see if I could do it right here. Team stats. Here it is. 69 rushing plays, I'm sorry. Forgive me on that. Rushing attempts, 43. Passing attempts, 28. So there you go. More rushing attempts. But to be fair, fourth quarter, you're up that much. We ran the ball a lot more. But before the fourth quarter, I believe it was at one point it was like a 25 for 25. It was pretty balanced. That was pretty much the point I'm making. Tua, phenomenal. 17 in a row. We needed one more to break Tannehill's record. God forbid, now he's still in our record book, and that's annoying. Although that was a fun game against the Texans, if you recall that game. But Tua, 2 touchdowns with his right hand, 2 touchdowns with his left hand. No more hating on Tua. We're officially all on board. We're all on board. Last year, you could argue. You could be like, I'm not sure. Sometimes he makes mistakes, right? Then we were on board, we were off board. After Flores, after that Tennessee game on Flores' last year, we had won, right? 7 in a row. We were 8-7, right? We were 8-7, and we go, hey, we got to go play the Titans. They were having a great year. We got to go play Tannehill. Oh, God, I don't want to lose to Tannehill. We should beat him. We had him for 7 years, right? This is Tua's game. This is it. If you have a franchise quarterback, he wins this Titans game, and we clinch a playoff berth with 2 games left. He has one of the worst games we had seen because the year prior to that, we only saw the Arizona game and the Chiefs game where he looked kind of good. And we're like, oh, that wasn't too bad. Got benched in the Broncos game, right? Got benched in the Raiders game. That's his rookie year. Second year, he comes back. Our defense is elite. He plays okay. It's pretty like a standard second year. Nothing crazy, but he didn't have an offensive coach. The Titans game, I was out. I was like, you know what? You know what, man? That's not you. 2 years in, a franchise quarterback makes plays. He makes plays and he wins that game, and you go to the playoffs and you know you have a guy. We lose that game. We're 8-8. Last game of the season, we play the Patriots, and we win, but it doesn't matter. They get the wild card. All right? And he played well in that last game. Offseason happens. The firing happens. We hear about what's really happening, blah, blah, blah. We bring in McDaniel. Here comes Tua. His 3rd year in the league. First game, okay. Second game is the Ravens game. We're all in. I'm calling people in your face. I told you he just needed time. I told you he just needed an offensive coach. I told you he just needed weapons. You idiots. Screaming at people. 3rd game, Bills. I can't believe we're 3-0. We're doing it. Kind of got his head knocked off a little bit. Probably should have benched him. Maybe the season goes totally different. Gets the concussion. Great. He's injury prone. Told you. At this point, you have to move on from him. He gets injured too much. That's 3 years in a row. 3 years in a row. Finger, then ribs, and then the 3rd year is the concussion, right? Broke his ribs the 2nd game of the season, year 2. So it's like, okay. All right, you can't argue with that. Oh, he's only going to miss 3 games. We lose those 3 games. We're 3-3. Tua comes back, easy schedule. 5 games in a row we win. 5 games in a row. 4 of those games he has 3 TDs. He gets like 12 TDs in those 5 games. Something like that. He looks sharp. We played non-playoff teams in those 5 games. I understand. And our defense wasn't as good last year. But we won them, and he looked good. The offense looked like that was the beginning of what we're seeing this year. We saw those 5 games. We're like, oh, this is the beginning of it. And it looks good. They're doing similar plays, a lot of movement pre-snap, but a lot of inside the numbers plays, less of the new thing they're doing with putting the guys in motion and having the tight end go out wide, right? But still, we're seeing the beginning of a lit, right? So we're 8-3. We're 8-3, and we have the 2 hardest road games versus 2 Super Bowl contenders, the 49ers and the Chargers. We go to San Francisco. We play great. First play, we score a touchdown, right? Garoppolo goes out, and the birth of Purdy happens. For whatever reason, our defense was never as good last year, and that was the theme all year long. If it was just a little bit better, I think we win that San Francisco game. Because Tua, yeah, he threw a pick. That defense is very good. It's an elite defense. They didn't totally have our offense figured out. He had a great play to Tyreek at the end of the game. We were in it. We were driving to get a game-winning touchdown. Gesicki came up short on a 4th down. We didn't get it. Game over. It wasn't like a horrible loss. We were in it. They were also on a big win streak. Purdy was playing well. That was the birth of him. Their defense is elite. It wasn't a total you kind of liked what Tua did. He kept them in the game. He made a mistake here and there, but then fought back and would bounce back from his mistakes. Then we play the Chargers, and it was Tua's worst game of the year. They figured it out. They figured out the offense. They had an answer for the offense. It was the first time you saw Staley. Oh, he's a good defensive coach. This is what they needed this year. Someone who knows what he's doing. And they stopped us, and they embarrassed us. They made Tua look bad. He actually looked bad, right? And then we lose. And then you're like, God, man, Tua, I don't know. I don't know. He's injury prone, but what was that? That's what you're thinking, right? And then the Buffalo game happens. We can't lose 3 in a row, bro. That's tough. We can't lose 3 in a row, right? The Buffalo game happens. We're we can't lose 3 in a row. What happens in the Buffalo game? It's a snow game. We're going back and forth. Tua has an excellent game. He plays phenomenal. And ultimately, our defense lets us down. We probably should have won that game. That one hurt the most. We should have won that game. We lose it. It's 3 in a row. Now you lost 3 in a row. We're 8-6. And now we got to go play Green Bay. And we play Green Bay, and we're like, hey, is Tua and the offense going to get back into the groove? And they do. They start off great. The first half's unbelievable. Tua's great. The offense looks great. They get a little rusty. And then in the fourth quarter, he throws 3 picks. And I was like, I'm done. You lost us the game. I'm done. And then they say he had a concussion. And I literally thought, are they just saying that to make an excuse for his bad play? I thought that. I go, are they saying he got, because he seemed fine. He was making some throws. He was making some good reads, but weird to throw 3 picks. It was weird, but I thought, oh, this is who Tua's going to be. He's going to blow a game. I go, oh, this is who he is. I was out. And then they say he had a concussion. I was like, okay, how convenient. That's why he threw 3 picks. He had a concussion. How convenient. We lose it. We go 8-7. We have our backups against the Patriots. All we have to do is win 1 and go in. We lose. The Patriots were 8-8. And then the Jets game happens. And we win. Field goal, boring game. We're in 9-8. And we have our backup against the Bills, and we almost beat them. And we all said it. We're like, if Tua was healthy, we would have won this game. So that's where we were at. And we're like, okay, hey, we'll pick up the 5th-year option, but I don't know yet. We were all thinking it. Some of you might have been like, I knew. But most of us were like, I think, yeah, he's injury prone. Injury prone. I don't know. I got to see. Game 1, I saw a guy going head-to-head, worried about the defense, but I saw a guy going head-to-head and a fun offense, and it was it was like a college feel game, back and forth. Game 2, Patriots, going to be tough. Played great. Made 1 bad throw. Every quarterback's going to make a couple bad throws a game. Made a bad throw in the first game. Made a bad throw in the second game. Yesterday, I don't think he made a bad throw. I don't think he made 1 bad throw. I think his incompletions, right? What were his incompletions? 2 or 3 of them? I think he had 3 of them. 2 of them, 1 in the end zone for Tyreek and another out to another player. I forget who it was. I think maybe all of his incompletions were not his fault. 23 for 26, 309 yards, 4 touchdowns. In his 3rd game in a row, they're 3-0. The way he's running the offense, the way he looks in the pocket, his awareness. How are you not in? Sure, he's injury prone. At this point, can't you argue that Burrow is too? Tore his ACL rookie year. Now he's got a calf issue. All right, sure, I understand. Oh, he gets 1 concussion. Is he done? Maybe. I don't know. But as of right now, we have the right as a fan base to be excited to actually say, and we never said it with Tannehill. We never did. We said, oh, he's good. We never wanted to give it up for him. But it is now time to officially give it up. And it's okay to say, we have a franchise quarterback. We finally have found someone post-Marino. We found someone post-Marino for the first fucking time ever. We have a franchise quarterback. We have an MVP candidate ever. The first time since Dan Marino, Vegas has ever had someone on the Miami Dolphins favored to win MVP. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? And then when someone says, oh, you guys do this every year and then you collapse, fuck off, motherfucker. We deserve this. We deserve the right to be excited. We deserve the right to be pumped. And I'm also making points about how good this team is. Let Tua get injured and show you how great McDaniel and this team is. Super Bowl winning teams don't just win Super Bowls because of one player. You saw it in the playoffs 3 years ago when Mahomes was hurt and Chad Henne won playoff games. It's a coach, it's a defense, it's an offensive line. And right now, our offensive line is the best in the NFL. The best in the NFL right now. Our quarterback's been sacked once. And people say, yeah, he's getting the ball out quick. Yeah. Yesterday, I saw him sit in that pocket for over 4 seconds multiple times. And that's how he found Tyreek for that opening touchdown. The offensive line has been phenomenal. Robert Hunt is a Pro Bowler right now. I don't know if you guys follow PFF and any other stats or watch the game. Robert Hunt is a Pro Bowler right guard right now. Austin Jackson is playing like he was supposed to be playing. How important is coaching in football? We bring in the coach from the 49ers, the offensive line coach. It is night and day, man. He would have made Jesse Davis look good. You remember how horrible Jesse Davis was? Guess what? He would have been a Pro Bowl tackle on this team maybe. That's how good this offensive line coach is. And the line in their second year of this offense, they're learning. They know where to block. They know where to go. Robert Hunt's, he's blocking 2 different defenders on running plays. He's that great. We'll see what's up with Connor Williams. But we have Liam back up there in center. I'm sorry. I'm excited, man. And I hope you guys are too. Agba, welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home, Agba. Interception and a sack. Here we go. Where were you last year? Nowhere. You got injured, but before you got injured, you were nowhere to be found. You got your contract, and we're like, oh, here we are. We're getting ripped off again. Welcome back, buddy. Welcome back. Zach Sealer, Christian Wilkins, Raekwon, Agba. Love our defensive line. They're not all going to be there next year. They're not all going to be there. I promise you that. Hopefully Wilkins is, and Sealer will be. But I don't know how you're going to sign. I mean, I don't know how money is going to be moved around if this team keeps doing what they're doing. Because guess who else is a Pro Bowler this year so far? Javon Holland. Javon Holland, 2 forced fumbles. He's all over the field. So we got another Pro Bowler out there. You got another Pro Bowler with Javon Holland. You got another Pro Bowler with Christian Wilkins, usually. Who knows? If Van Ginkel keeps going like this, we're going to have to sign him for a long contract. Hopefully Jalen Phillips is better. I think he got a little banged up. That's fine. Not even worried because the depth of our linebackers is so good. I mean, dude, Van Ginkel's all over the place. He's the closest to a Zach Thomas we've had in a while. Every week, someone on defense is showing up or doing something. Cater Kodu. I mean, I'm just speechless. I'm speechless because the defense was unbelievable. They give up a kick return, right? Our special teams. This game should have been 70-13. 70-13, and the one touchdown they had was when we were in the first quarter when we were up 14-0. Russell avoids a sack, basically almost got sacked, and it was because Sutton made a great play and stopped in his route and turned back around and beat Howard, and he threw a lucky lob and he gets a touchdown. That was it. It was 70-13. The defense is elite. The defense is playing elite. They're playing at a higher level. That first game they showed up in the fourth quarter when they need to. Against the Patriots, they were great, and they were even better yesterday. And you don't think about it because we were scoring 70 points, but there's so many great things that happen. The defense was phenomenal. The offensive line was phenomenal. Our run attack is phenomenal. I'll say it, man. I'll say it. Put Mike White in next week. Just to prove a point. Put Mike White in. He'll throw 3 touchdown passes. He'll throw a pick. Maybe he'll fumble it. He'll get sacked because he holds the ball a little bit too long because he doesn't know the offense as well. Maybe we have 2 turnovers in that game. We would still win 31-28. I think we would win 31-28 with Mike White. But guess what? He's not playing. Tua is. And that's why I think we're going to surprise a lot of people. I think we put up 30 again. This is one of the better defenses. One of the better defenses. But the one thing people are forgetting about, McDaniel's third run at the Bills. And he keeps getting better at it. He figures out how to score against them. 31-21, man. I almost want to say 34-21. I almost want to say 34-21. I'm going with 31-21. That's all. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, man. What do you guys think? Tua's got 1,000 yards after 3 games. 8 touchdowns, 2 picks. 1,000 yards. 3 games in. When's the last time we had a quarterback throw for over 4,000 yards? I guess Tannehill did it. Yes, he did. Have we ever had a quarterback throw over 30 touchdowns? When's the last time that happened? Not since Marino. Tannehill never threw for 30 touchdowns. Never. Never. Well, guess what, man? Somebody's on pace. Somebody's on pace. Somebody's on pace. We're only 3 games in. A-Chain's got 208 yards. I thought he had maybe some more yards from previous games. He only has 208, so he only had 5 yards previously. He's our rookie of the year, man. But what about Mostert's here? Think about this. 3 games in, 240 yards rushing. So this guy's on pace for basically over 1,500 yards rushing. This guy's having a Pro Bowl year. He's got 6 rushing touchdowns, dude. 6 rushing touchdowns. Unbelievable. And 1 receiving. The guy's got 7 touchdowns this year. 7 touchdowns. Wow. I'm sorry. Do they break it up? No, yeah. No, they don't. 6 rushing, 1 receiving. He's got 7 touchdowns through 3 games. 7. I mean, how many do you get where you're like an automatic Pro Bowler? I mean, wasn't Jamal Williams a Pro Bowler with like 20 rushing touchdowns? Maybe he didn't have a lot of rushing yards, but I mean, surely he made the Pro Bowl last year for the NFC, right? This guy's got 7 through 3 games. 7 total touchdowns. I don't know what the record for most touchdowns in a season was. I know that the rushing record was like 28 or something by like LaDainian Tomlinson. But like, I don't think we'll get, I mean, that would be crazy. Listen, if he got like 2 next week and he was at 8 after 4 games, I'd be, this is getting crazy. But he's got 7 total touchdowns this year. This guy's 31. Not to mention, he's got a young rookie that he's going to be helping behind him. Tyreek, through 3 games, 412 yards, 4 touchdowns. 412 yards. If he gets 88 yards and 1 touchdown next week against the Bills, then he is on pace for 20 receiving touchdowns, basically, and 2,000 yards receiving, which he said he wanted to get, and 100 yards receiving. Bro, this is awesome. This is not like last year. This is not like any year where we went 3-0. This is way different, man. This is special. I'm telling you right now, this is special. And I'm not getting overhyped and I'm not getting excited. This is special. And we got to feel awesome about this. You got to feel awesome about this. And I hope you guys do. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. That's all I ask. I want to help build this channel. Check out the full episodes where we kind of recap the whole NFL, me and my buddy. That comes out every week. We put out a recap. But I appreciate you guys watching the channel, and nothing would mean more if you guys could like and subscribe and let me know. Tell me in the comments how excited you are about this season, or if you want to hear me talk about someone individually on the team, or what you think is cool about this team, or anything like that. Let me know in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. And also, if you are a fan, check out my tour dates, michaellenoci.com. I'm on tour right now, and I'm hitting about 16 more cities over the next 3 months. Appreciate everyone's support. We'll see you next week, man. Fins up.